kind of a chilly wind that's blowing at me. I don't know what the problem is. What is the problem? Why can't they leave us alone? What got into their little heads? What made women think they're so valuable? It mystifies me why they decided they value themselves so much. It went from every woman has a vagina and who cares to they have a vagina and everyone has to care. It's really quite amazing to me that these women believe they're that special. Who convinced them that men are disposable? That men have to give? Who told women that they can demand from us and that we'll give in? How did they figure that shit out? When I talk about feminism and our current problem, I talk about how it goes all the way back to the French Revolution, how it found root, psychologists worked on it in the early and mid 1800s, was financed by super wealthy people who wanted to get a new hold on society. Right? The aristocracy lost control, the king lost control, men moved to self-governance, realized that they were powerful, that they were independent and individually sovereign. That happened, and the powers that be just couldn't have that get out, so they needed to control us again. And one of the ways they could do that was to create political enemies for our system. So freedom and capitalism needed fascism and communism or socialism to combat it. And free men couldn't be free. They needed to be hampered with. They needed to be weighed down with something that controlled their lives. Right? And men could pass that wisdom from generation to generation. The importance of freedom, the importance of independence, the importance of being a man. That was passed from generation to generation. So they had to destroy that. And they realized that the destruction of marriage could come about by destroying men, right? And by empowering women. They figured it out a long time ago. And it wasn't a quick fix for them. They had to be patient and let feminism take root. Let men get used to the idea that women were allowed to talk and say whatever the fuck they wanted to us, and that we had to take it. Cigar's drawing a little hard today. It took a while. It took generations to start breeding out of men their independence, their self-determination. Right? It took generations for men to be convinced and women to be convinced that they were a man's equal. And they pushed it and they pushed it and they pushed it, and every now and then a wave crashes, like in the 60s with the sexual revolution, where women had to start burning their bras and getting in everyone's faces. It took a long time. I don't think they counted on the internet. Oh yeah. I don't think they counted on the internet being used as a tool against them. The internet has been a great tool for humanity to use in defense of itself. Yeah, the bad people, the feminists, right, the socialists and communists and anarchists, they're using it too. But as far as I'm concerned, they're preaching to the choir. They've already got girls' attention and little mangina's attention in school and in college. Right? They've already got everyone's attention that they need. They've been indoctrinated. It's the grown-up man the adult man, the powerful man, that they can't control the way they used to. And the internet is a way out of that for us. They don't like the internet. And then the platform of YouTube comes along. And a guy like me can share his thoughts, share stories. I can encourage you guys, right? Lots of channels like mine that are out there talking about the truth and the way it was and the way it should be, right? And now I'm encouraging, and everyone's encouraging men to act like men. Stand up and act ye like men. And the powers that be don't like that. They despise us for it. You know, let's see. 200 years of indoctrination. 200 years of testing, of trials, of funding. 200 years of in-your-face manipulation, guilt, shame. 200 years. These feminists have been at it. And what is the result? The result is mgtow, is right here. Right? You can't kill the man's spirit. You can kill his body. Right? You can try and bring him down. But men are stronger than that. Oh, they used the law as well. It wasn't good enough just to fuck with men a little bit. They had to use the law to steal men's money. Right? And to make them work and pay a woman. Right? Pay a woman even after divorce. And continue to pay her year after year to try and break the man. And all it's done is sought, right? All it's done is reinforced our belief that the system is corrupt and that women are rotten to the core. That's all they've succeeded in doing, is showing us that government can't be trusted and it's unreliable. And that these social engineers, these psychologists and sociologists and political scientists are nothing but a bunch of fucking hacks and weaklings that hide behind law, statute, court decisions. But nature's law, right? Natural law, the common law. That's what men know naturally. We are naturally moral characters, moral beings. We know what's right and wrong. You think that a thief that steals from another man doesn't know he's a thief? You know, at least he's honest about it. He pulls a fucking knife and says, "Give me your wallet, man. I'm here to steal from you." He knows he's wrong. He knows it. He's chosen to be a thief. And I guess only the weakest thieves try and blame it on something else. But women, on the other hand, they steal from men. They're thieves and whores. They're whores while they're with us. And when it's time to leave, they are thieves. Right? I don't know if there's a better way to put it. They use the government to steal from you. They use the police to lie about you and punish you. Right? They are the most dishonest creatures on the planet, these filthy women. And I say filthy. When I say filthy, I mean filthy. It's not just that their bodies are potentially disease-ridden, but their minds are filthy cesspools where dark creatures slither about trying to convince them that it's good to do what they do to men. You know, I can even draw this down to race. You know, there are some people that believe that reparations need to be paid to blacks for slavery. And typically I don't politicize this channel this way, but I'll do it. And I say, what did I have to do with, that? Why should I pay? And then I can turn around and say, well, back in 1725, when my ancestors got off the boat in Maryland and they went into Pennsylvania, They were indentured servants to William Penn. They were slaves. They had to work their asses off for 7 years to regain, right, their personal freedom and start keeping their own. So within my family, there were slaves, right? Do I go to Pennsylvania and say, give me reparations, right? No. So I can't complain, and no one else can rightly complain about a situation that occurred 100 years ago, 150 years ago, 400 years ago. We may not like it. You know, there may be some personal angst or animosity for it, but for the most part, that's the way it is, right? That's the way it was. Now, let's turn this into a MGTOW issue. Women claim that men have had control and the patriarchy for millennia, and so they deserve now. They deserve for us to pay for them. Right? It's their turn to have the upper hand. Once again, I don't agree. Right? Women were free to be in other cultures before this century. Right? If you want to be a woman, be a woman. Go ahead. Have at it. But it's a man's world. Meaning, it's a natural world. There is rule and order and law. You have to be strong. You have to be intelligent to make money, to provide for yourself. And women, by and large, are not mentally or physically fit for such a task. So as usual, and going all the way back to caveman times, women have had to rely on men. And in order to gain a man, they have to give themselves to a man. And that worked for millennia. It worked for millennia. And then you get to the 1960s, the 1970s, all the way to the present. And now there's an unnatural law. It goes against nature's way. Right? And it says that I have to pay for them. Right? I have to get the door, I have to pay the bill, I have to pay my taxes, which pays for their entitlements, I have to marry them,